She's like, go. And I go, well, no, because I don't like butter. And it's like, I sound like a real puss, but what do you want? I'm not going to sit there. I'm not going to eat endless shrimp when it's scampi. It's in butter and garlic. It's not for me. And they go, no, well, you can get it. I go, can you just get like the raw shrimp cocktail type shrimp? And they go, I don't think so. It's either like deep fried or whatever. I go, do they do popcorn shrimp maybe?
Yeah. They do.
I mean, and they go, because my buddy is like a big guy. He's a firefighter, and he's talking about how his standing record at one of these things is like 87 giant shrimp or something like right. And I go, so how do they do this? You just go in and you order and they just keep bringing you shrimp? They're like, yeah. And so the three of us had made a plan to get, I'm like, I haven't been to a Red Lobster since high school, right? I said, we should really go and do this. Because I said, when do they do it? Is it seasonal? Blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, I don't know if they're going to be doing it anymore because Red Lobster lost $11 million in the third quarter on endless shrimp. And I love the headline, Red Lobster misjudges people's hunger for endless shrimp. I'm like,
especially right now.
Have you walked around this country recently? Misjudged. They lost $11 million in the third quarter over their ultimate endless shrimp, which used to be Mondays only. But then they go, hey, people love this so much, we're going to put it on the menu all the time. And they proceeded to get chowed out of house and home on the endless shrimp. Now, traffic was up 4% from last year. There are 670 Red Lobsters around the country. They said that they had hoped that people would pick more items on the menu. But if you give them endless anything, that's what they're going to
I think
eat.
it was only like $20 too. It wasn't $75.
I think now it's like maybe 27 or 30, but it's still like
but even that's
pretty
a bargain.
affordable.
It's cheap. It's not as expensive as it should be.
They raised the price from $22 to $25.
Yeah.
They said, we thought we wanted to bring more traffic into the restaurants. And this is the way these companies think. They go, all we need to do is get them in the door. And then let's see, what are they going to do? Opt for the $25 endless shrimp or go for the $36 lobster shrimp linguine Alfredo or whatever it is. Yeah, well, they kind of they took a bath on that. So I don't know if they're going to stop it altogether. I don't know if they're
probably
going
put more parameters on it. It'll be like endless shrimp within reason.
Yeah.
It's like the old Chris Farley bit on SNL, that all you can eat. He goes, is it all you can eat or all you want to eat? They go, it's all you can eat. They're like stuffing food in his mouth. I'm sorry, it's all you can eat. They say we want to keep it on the menu, but we have to be much more careful regarding the price point. And so I may have missed my window. For as long as it's been around, I just never took advantage of it because it wasn't on my radar.
And it's definitely not something that you would even maximize.
Everyone.
There's no reason for Alan to do endless anything.
No.
Right. I was going to go with my buddies and do this.
Endless lettuce.
Yeah.
Endless lettuce. I can eat an entire head
Endless
of lettuce.
spinach, please. I don't want those empty. At least there's some vitamins in
It's got some
spinach.
nutrients.
That's right. Do I look better on camera now very quickly, Bill?
Yes, I think.
Okay, we switched the camera in the break because it was really driving me crazy.
And yours is further away, Bill, too. Yours used to be like your head
right
was
up my
the
nose,
whole,
yeah.
thing. So,
I still got to adjust mine because there's one. I swapped out Alan's boom arm, and so no one cares. It'll look good. And then I really want to get married and not be a ghost.
Dude, I'm just pale. That's it.
But
There's just not gonna.
But there's something we can do. There's some.
I also have. Red is the worst color for me to wear, but
right,
it's
take
just
off your
the
shirt.
hoodie that I grabbed.
You're
today.
not in autumn?
No, I'm a cool colors guy. I need greens, blues, purples.
Put your coat on. Put your coat on. Because you're going to probably put it on anyway.
I had more to say about Red Lobster. And now
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna take
We'll
my
pause
clothes
that.
off.
By the way, when I was shutting it all down in Studio B this morning, I looked at the thermostat.
Was it on heat?
It had gone from heat to cool, and I hadn't done anything to it.
I think it does that automatically.
That's what I'm saying.
Does it look better with this grayish? I think this is a gray shirt, black shirt.
Pull the front down more. That might.
Yeah. Well, one more layer.
Just go down to your bra.
Red Lobster.
Red Lobster.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Red Lobster. It was like one of my favorite places. But because I only became allergic to shellfish in like 2014, 2015. I had my first legal drink at a Red Lobster. It was because my birthday is around Thanksgiving. So for whatever reason, we all went out to Red Lobster when my family was in town. And I remember because my brother was like newly religious. My 28-hour workday brother was like born again. And
How old was he?
Wow, this was, what year did I turn?
But he was a grown man who knew better. How did
Yes.
he come to the Lord?
Well, he was born again.
Lord.
He grew up Christian, and then he backslid and then came back.
Gotcha.
So I'm 34, 13 years ago, 2010. Okay. So I'm
Baker's
21.
dozen.
Yeah, I'm 21, and I'm being a brat because he doesn't want me to drink, and he says there's no reason to get a drink and blah, blah, blah. And he's like barking down my throat about how drinking is sinning and being in excess and all this stuff.
There's nothing worse than a new convert
Dude,
to anything.
I ordered a strawberry daiquiri and then with 2 extra shots of rum on the side. So I did one of the shots of rum and then I poured the other shot in there.
Is
to be
rum
like,
what's in a daiquiri?
yeah, to be like, well, now I'm going to get drunk on this slushy just because you told me I can't. And I think I had 2 like that where it would have ended up being like 6 shots of rum in the hour and a half that we were at Red Lobster. So I was getting day drunk in a Red Lobster at my brother on my 21st.
At my brother,
This is
yeah.
my first like legal check my ID. I can order this drink.
It's not endless daiquiris.
You said endless whipped cream and put it on a shot and take it with my tongue. And you know what? Dip a shrimp in it.
Keep bringing shrimp and daiquiris.
Put a shrimp in it like cocktail sauce, and the daiquiri is a cocktail sauce. And dip a chunky in it, and
yeah.
also I have a crab legs.
Dip a chunky in it.
Everyone goes crazy over Red Lobster, and I've been.
Cheddar Bay biscuit.
The cheddar
I
biscuits
get it.
are
They're-
insanely
but
good.
They're not the best, honestly.
But how and when did Red Lobster, they made for the kind of restaurant they are, which never seemed cheap, they made a very conscious turn toward urban clientele.
Because seafood is supposed to be a luxury.
Well,
It's looked at as a luxury
I
because
thought
it's
it was
hard.
poor people in general.
Is that true?
But there's not a lot of places to get seafood in the hood. So Red Lobster is the closest thing you could get to that. Like not everyone lives by.
I don't even mean in the hood. There was, I don't know if there still is, but there was a Red Lobster like as an anchor restaurant in downtown Chicago. So I don't even mean the hood. I mean they consciously marketed toward urban audiences, and I was curious where that came from.
I think it's
really
because
think
of
it's
that it being looked at as fancy.
Well, and
so
that's the
you gotta
thing
get
is,
that red. Big J used to tell a story about like you get that Red Lobster, like the way he did. It
if
was
people,
real funny.
even growing up, if someone took you to Red Lobster, that was like
It was a treat.
they really
loaded,
like
yeah.
you. Like
Okay.
they're balling out on you. Like this is luxury. I'm about to spend some coin on my girl. I'm gonna take
But I
you to
don't
the
ever-
Red Lobster.
I mean, it wasn't like going to McDonald's, but I don't ever remember it being like expensive.
But it's expensive for people
Expensiver.
who eat at Applebee's.
I see.
Correct.
So when you're like a family who's
It's
We're
the
a
next
Golden
tier
Corral
up.
family.
yes,
Okay.
if you're going to buffets and you are eating fast food,
Oh, okay.
either Red Lobster or hibachi are the two. Like this is a celebration
Yeah.
dinner.
They
Yeah.
have cloth napkins.
Yes,
We were-
anything
yeah.
with cloth napkins.
We were Golden Corral, Ponderosa,
Yes,
and
Ponderosa.
Hometown Buffet.
Yeah,
like that's
we did a lot of those.
what we got as kids.
Ponderosa, I was peak dining experience when I was a kid, and then I remember going to a restaurant where you didn't pick up your plate on the way in, and I was like, "How am I supposed to eat?"
Or
I
you,
don't understand.
or
There
you,
was I ordered my food, and there's no plates here, and my parents like they bring it out on a plate, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, how do we get the buffet?" And she's like, "There's not a buffet at every restaurant."
When I was a kid, the fancy restaurant near us was called Mr. Steak.
That sounds fancy.
Mr. Steak. And it was just me and my brothers at the time, so I was probably like 7 or 8. And like on a random Friday, we would go to Mr. Steak. And the hostess was this gorgeous brunette. And she had been there forever. Many years later, when I'm a high schooler and I'm getting a job waiting tables, she is the hostess at the fine dining restaurant that I applied to.
Wow.
And I see her and I immediately know who she is because she just had I just remembered her face. And
Ask her out.
no. She was, I was 8 when she was the Mr. Steak hostess. But she looked at me and she saw the name on the application. She goes, "You and your family used to come." I go, "Yes."
Mm-hmm.
I said, my first interview, I said, "Would it be inappropriate for me to tell you that I spent a lot of time in the shower after we had dinner at Mr. I didn't say that.
She said, "Tell me more. Tell me more, young buck."
Tell me. Yeah.
How'd you like to be a real Mr. Steak?
But I guarantee that's how I got hired at that restaurant because I didn't have any experience. And she's like, you know what? I like the cut of your jib and I like the cut of your steak.
Yeah, expensive or like birthday dinners were always Red Lobster or hibachi was like every now and then.
We would do
once every couple years you'd get a hibachi dinner.
We never did hibachi, and like when I was a kid, that was not even like a thing. Like we didn't go to that. I started going to hibachis when I started dating my ex-wife.
I was in high school.
Yeah.
I think the first time we went to a hibachi, and it was like blew my mind.
Yeah, so that's probably around the same time.
Yeah.
And also the one thing that like when we do like family get-togethers and then we go out as like with the extended family is always what Roadhouse by Brown Derby.
Yeah, we throw the peanuts on the ground.
And that was
like the Ground Round did that.
Yeah,
too.
God, I loved Ground Round.
Yeah.
They had
Ground Round was the same thing. Yeah,
they had pay what you weigh day for children at Ground Round, and that was the day that we would go because they had a giant scale like a Mark's, a giant scale when you walked in, and if you weighed 75 pounds, you would pay 75 cents for your kids' meal. So whatever day that was, Tuesdays or Thursdays,
That's when there were a lot fewer fatter kids too.
Well, whatever day that was, we were malnourished poor kids. So they would get off on feeding a family of 7 for $15. So we would go to.
That's just good economics.
Every single.
Who said your dad wasn't good with money?
Well, he had to be. You kind of learn how to survive when you don't
It's
have
not like
it.
he was financially literate. He had to find every dollar and make it stretch.
But yeah, pay what you weigh day at Ground Round, and we'd fill up on popcorn because they had free popcorn there.
Alan, what's the matter? Does Red Lobster not hate gay people enough for Poundcake? He doesn't eat there because they have a pretty progressive view on, I don't know if they do or not, but that's why he likes Chick-fil-A because, of course, they're very anti-LGBTQ at the corporate level.
Well, I just...
He wants to taste the hate.
No one in my family loves seafood enough to go to Red Lobster.
Right, it's not like a go-to.
So in my adult life,
I love seafood.
I don't think I've ever gone... like by myself. I think someone took me on a date there once, and then a listener a customer years and years ago, I said it on air that I had never gone before. At this time I hadn't, and they sent me I think it was like a $50 gift card to Red Lobster, so I got to eat there for free my first time. So I mean, it was okay. I like crab legs and I like salmon. And that's as deep as I get. Like when we were in Jamaica, we had those jumbo shrimp on like the plate. I had those because I was like, I think it's a delicacy. And when else am I ever gonna have to eat this on a beach? Like, you know.
The first time
you wanted the full experience.
Yeah,
I understand.
so like it was good, but like it's not something that I crave. So no, I just never really needed it. It was okay. I don't like the way that lobster is prepared. I don't. If you can
this
eat,
guy's all hoity-toity.
but if you can eat lobster like crab legs, I would like it because I like the meat.
Dude,
It's
I did
almost the
not.
exact same.
No, it's not crab or lobster is served in like that big thing.
It's in a
the,
tail. It's in its tail.
You just
I don't
rip
like
it out
that.
and then dip it in butter, just like
It's
you do
like
with crab
way
legs.
easier.
It was like mushed when I got
You
it.
haven't had it probably.
It's usually served as a tail where they cook it and then flip it over so the meat is upright and the like scaly tail, the exoskeleton is on the bottom.
It's like me in college. The meat was upright all the time.
and in your tail.
I guess they ordered lobster dip then because it was like
Yeah, that's different.
okay.
Or
Well,
like
then
a
I never-
lobster bisque is a soup.
Yeah.
Okay, then I never had lobster like just
Like a
where you-
grilled lobster tail.
No, then I guess I haven't had that. Then I like eating crab legs. I like that meat. I like the fun of cracking the legs
I
open and eating it.
Hated it.
What? What's so
I
funny?
he
hated
likes
crab
cracking
legs.
the legs and
Yeah.
eating the meat, Mary.
Dude, so in college was the first time I had crab legs, and my younger sister had it, and she took me. We went to a Red Lobster. It was probably during one of their like crab fests or whatever, and she recorded me eating crab legs for the first time, and I'm like, this is absolutely not worth it. This is expensive. It takes too long. It's
labor
crazy
intensive.
messy, and you don't get that much meat.
Yeah, I can understand
I'll
that.
tell you what. I've got, here's Mary eating all those crab legs for the very first time. All you can eat shrimp and crab legs. Just cracking the legs and then eating the meat.
When we were in Myrtle Beach, we went to this place called Krabby Mike's, and
Like Joe's Crab Shack.
and that was like the only time that my whole family, I've seen us like all eat together eating seafood. And then my brother, that's how we found out he had a shellfish allergy because he was eating.
He puffed up.
His tongue started swelling.
throat starts to hurt.
He was like, I can't breathe. And I was like, oh God, we're on vacation. We're gonna have to take him to like the ER. But I don't know if it was shellfish or clam or whatever it was. But he was like,
Clam is a shellfish.
okay, sorry.
I like how he said ER. We got to take him to the ER.
But
Andale.
something about eating oysters just grosses me out. The way that they just suck it right out of the shell, like, like I don't like that.
I actually never want to eat with you again.
Yeah,
Like,
right?
Just the noises that you make are already so bad. Yeah, just the lip smacking.
But I don't eat like that.
Sucking it dry.
I don't like someone, like, I don't like when you have to eat at an angle. Anything you have to eat at an angle, I don't like
You
that.
don't eat tacos? We
I
have
don't
to
eat
eat
tacos
that?
anything
at
at
an
an
angle.
You eat a taco straight on. You open. How?
I have a wrapped burrito.
Anything
Like,
more,
We're talking about taco.
anything more than a 15-degree list, and he
Like,
is out.
You
He
got to
get-
turn your body.
Yeah.
A taco, you have to turn your head to
You
the side to
don't.
eat. Yes, you do.
You turn the taco
Or you turn
to
the
side.
taco completely horizontally and eat
you
it
can-
like a
It all
sandwich.
falls
You can
out.
turn your head, but you should not have to have like you should not have to sit a certain way, tilt your head, and then have like the oyster dangling above you. And then
When you go
suck
to
it
dinner
out.
with Poundcake, that's why he always has a protractor with him, so that he can measure out what he's going to need to eat.
Sucking it dry.
You should not have to sit at a 45-degree angle to eat some damn oysters. I don't like that.
That's
I
actually a
don't
good
like-
idea. Like, you know how they do the rotating restaurant? They should do a restaurant where
It's already
you're
tilted.
you're already tilted so that all your food can go into your mouth the right direction.
Level with the ground. All the seats have shoulder harnesses.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. You're like Tommy Lee when Crew was touring in the. I lost it.
Just let it go.
I get it.
I know.
I
Thanks.
understood.
Oh.
One of the last times I ate seafood, because I became pretty allergic and I had to either. There was a brief period for about 6 months where I would still eat shrimp and just take Benadryl before it, because I'm like, it's just hives. I'll be fine. And then the more I ate it, the worse, like my throat would close up and stuff. But one of the last times I ate seafood, we were in Folly Beach, which Cody is short for
Folly Alley Auction Free.
Folly Alley Auction Free. And we went to this like seafood boil place.
I know exactly
But
where that is. I've been there.
We ordered the deep fried platter for like 8 people. And so everyone's eating like deep fried shrimp and fish sticks and oysters and like this. It took up the whole middle of the table, like just deep fried seafood. But my drink of choice that day was pina coladas. So I had
Yuck, dude.
like 3 pina coladas and we were doing shots. And then I ate all this fried seafood. And then at the end of the meal, they ordered 1 more shot of whiskey. And I did this last shot of whiskey and then threw up fried seafood and pina coladas. And
damn,
it was,
everybody's meal.
I was done after that. I never touched seafood again. And it took me a couple years to have a pina colada after that, because it was like one of those shots you take where as soon as it hits, you're like, oh, this is coming back up immediately.
Yeah, that's the.
And the
that's
food
not good.
wasn't processed. It was
It was all
Oh,
chunky.
it was horrible.
It was all
You ruined
chunky food.
everybody's experience.
I went to the bathroom. I didn't throw up on the table.
Oh, I thought
but
you
like,
threw up, like, right
no,
there.
I took the shot, immediately stood up, went to the bathroom and puked. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this for a while.
The most important thing to remember, and you may have heard the phrase before, but you've never heard it applied thusly, because Poundcake can always bring new things to light. When you go to eat with Poundcake, you need to remember that the angle of the dangle is inversely proportionate to the heat of the meat.